This is Ranzi, and I am going to talk to you about the rancidity of nuts and seeds. And this is something that I wish that I knew many years ago when I turned to a raw living plant food lifestyle. I had no idea that nuts and seeds are very sensitive to heat, light, and oxygen. And so that means that when I go out and I buy my nuts and seeds at a store and they are sitting on the shelf in a container for you don't know how long, that they're most of the time rancid. And especially nut and seed oils, you can pretty much guarantee that hemp oil and flax oil are completely rancid on purchase, even way before you purchase them. And so once the nuts and the seeds are exposed to heat, light, and oxygen, they very quickly become rancid. So you want to make sure that you purchase it from a store that keeps them refrigerated or has a very quick turnover rate. And when they get their nuts and seeds, that they refrigerate them before putting them out on the shelf. So I go into a lot of stores where they're just sitting there in these plastic containers, and I get them home, open them up, and they're rancid, and that's how I ate them for many years. And that is toxic, to eat rancid nuts and seeds. So that's one thing to look out for when you're purchasing the nuts and the seeds. There are online nut and seed sellers that you can call and ask if they have their nuts and seeds refrigerated, and then also ask how they ship them to you. And then when you get them, put them right into your freezer. Nuts and seeds should be kept in the freezer. Now, nuts and seeds also need to be soaked before you eat them, because that releases the enzyme inhibitors that they have. And being that they go rancid so quickly, you would not want to soak them on the counter. You would want to soak them in water inside the refrigerator. And so this is something that I did it for years, soaking my nuts and seeds on the counter. But now every time that I want to make something with nuts or seeds, I keep them soaked in the refrigerator, and then the next morning I pour out the water, which has those enzyme inhibitors in them. Now, so many people make raw breads, raw crackers, so many different raw food dishes they make in the dehydrator. And the dehydrator is very useful for people who are transitioning from the mainstream diet and want to have their raw pizza and their raw lasagna and cookies and crackers, things like that. However, it's really important to keep in mind that nuts and seeds go rancid very quickly because they're sensitive to heat, light, and oxygen. And even though dehydrators heat up the food at a much lower temperature, the nuts and seeds still often go rancid by the long time that they are kept in the dehydrator. And they're sensitive to heat. So we must be really conscious of this, and this is just one more reason to eat your fruits and your vegetables and your sprouts and your nuts and your seeds fresh at room temperature, and eat everything, especially fruits and vegetables, with their water content in them instead of dehydrating them. It's okay, you want to have a treat once in a while, but it's important to know that dehydrating nuts and seeds will most likely cause rancidity. So that's my tip for today. Here's my book, Creating Healthy Children. I have a lot of this information on nuts and seeds in Creating Healthy Children. I also have a chapter on fats And since nuts and seeds are fats, I have information on how much nuts and seeds should we really be eating when we are living the raw food lifestyle. So that's important to know. You can purchase Creating Healthy Children at superhealthychildren.com. And please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Super Healthy Children, and like us on Facebook at Creating Healthy Children. Thank you.